Test one. Test one, two, and three. Hey, everybody, how are you? I'm live from the island, and I will be on camera shortly. And you are going to see a fisherman coming by my dock. I have a lot of bass, smallmouth bass, that are on their beds out there. I really don't like to see the fishermen disturbing them. They're not really supposed to be fishing for bass. Bass season is not open yet, but they come out and around. I'm in the St. Lawrence River. Oh, and he has a bass he just caught. Of course, they're on their spawning beds. Hey, everybody, I'm live from the St. Lawrence River in the Thousand Islands, New York, and I will be out in my chair shortly. Hey, thanks for joining me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I like to go live in the shorts feed because I like to go live in the vertical mode because I know it shows up in the shorts feed. I'm Cliff Yates. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hey, always positive content. And I have two channels. I have one specifically that is for the island, and one that is my positivity, self-improvement, and personal growth channel. Hey, you're about to see a fisherman come right by my my front door here, which is kind of a normal occurrence. And here he comes. It's not unusual to have fishermen, especially in the height of bass season, to be right outside your front door. If you own an island right here in the middle of the St. Lawrence River, one of the best smallmouth fisheries really in the United States, I think still today. And so there's a couple big bass tournaments that come around a couple times a year. We have Major League Fishing, and then Bass Masters comes around. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, everybody. Whether you're on the Island Life channel or you're just on my regular Cliff Yates channel, hey, I'm glad you're aboard. Always, either way, positive content, self improvement, personal growth, all things that can really help all of us, you and me both, live a better life every day in every way than we were yesterday. I get excited about this stuff. That's what I've been studying for the past 35 years. I got hooked on it 35 years ago. I was in a negative place. And then I went to a seminar by Jim Rohn, and I changed, and things began to change for me. And when that happened, I got addicted to self improvement, personal growth, and that kind of content. So if that resonates with you in some way, hey, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the island life, if you like life on an island and what it's like to be living on an island, what the size of the island is, and where am I? Let me know in the comments where you are in the world. I can't see them right now, but I will be able to see them shortly. I'll check them out. Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm back on camera. My channels are always with me in them normally 100% of the time. I am not a faceless channel, and I'm glad YouTube has been going out of their way to really demonetize the faceless channels. These people are churning through AI a lot of content just for financial purposes only, getting attention, getting likes, and getting clicks. And for me, that's not what it's all about. I'd rather go with quantity and quality together, not just one or the other. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I repeat that every few minutes because I know in the vertical mode, people are jumping in and out of the shorts feed. And I like that because I get to connect with more people who aren't already subscribed to the channel. I'm here in the Thousand Islands of New York. That's where I'm at. One side of this St. Lawrence River is the New York side, and one side is the Canadian side. And I'm on the New York side, everybody. And there's over 1,864 islands where I'm at. This is where I spend my summers, but this is a seasonal property. You can't live here all year round. That way you'd be hard pressed to do that. And I wouldn't want to, believe me. As soon as October 15th, right around there hits, I'm about ready to go back to Florida, warm weather. And when I'm in Florida, about May 15th, starts to get a little too hot, and I'm ready to come to the island. This year I got here on May 8th, and it was very cold. And it was very cold for the past, well, this is the 7th of June, and it's been cold for a month. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 days have been over 70 out of 30. And yesterday, it's just amazing how the weather changes here on the island at the blink of an eye. The wind came up yesterday, blowing probably 40 to 60 miles an hour easily. And the water raised up probably 5 or 6 inches from where it is right now. My lower dock was underwater. It was so high, my high dock, it was going over the high dock, and it put a bunch of debris on it. And it was just hellacious winds all day long. And it was the roughest I have seen it in quite a while. And then you get a day like today, and all of a sudden it's nice and calm. It's very, very overcast, as you can see. We haven't had any sunlight yet today, except for what you see here. But it's pretty warm. I want to say it's 68 to 70, and that's really comfortable if there's no wind. And so this time of year, it's kind of rough with bugs. There's a lot of bugs. You may even see them on camera, and you may see a lot of barn swallows just circling the cottage right now because they love all those bugs. So in that regard, we do like the barn swallows. And you're amongst nature here at the island. But summer is that's the go time here in the Thousand Islands, New York. Thousand Islands, New York. That's actually where the name of the dressing came from back in 1905, not too far downriver at Bolt Castle. George Bolt himself, who was one of the original owners of the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, he was on his yacht in Alexandria Bay, New York, and he had the captain of his yacht make up the ingredients that became known as Thousand Island dressing later on. He took that dressing recipe to the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, and it became a hit. And now, look what we got. 100 years later and 120 years later, and everybody knows Thousand Island dressing, but you may not know where it came from. It came from this area here, 1,864 islands to be exact. My island is pretty small, about the size of a football field. And on my Island Life channel, I have a lot of drone footage of the island, so you can tell exactly how big it is. That's one of the questions that I get asked. How big is your island? And I have to remind myself to keep telling you where I'm at. I'm in the state of New York. This is where the Thousand Island region is. The St. Lawrence River runs from the end of Lake Ontario, the last great lake, before that water dumps into the St. Lawrence River. And this river runs north past Montreal, Canada, and eventually into the Atlantic Ocean. But from here, it's probably 600-700 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. It's quite a ways up. but I am right on the other side of my cottage. I'm probably 400 yards from the shipping channel, which kind of is in the center of the river between the Canadian waters and the New York waters. And so I get to see the big ships that are going up river to the Great Lakes and then coming down river, leaving the Great Lakes. And so pretty much 24/7, every few minutes or so, there's a ship coming up or down the river. And it's quite a sight to see and never gets old. So it's great. I'm glad I'm connecting with you. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I like going live in the vertical mode. I know it shows up in the shorts feed, and I get to connect with people who aren't already subscribed to my channels. So I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place. I'm telling you, if you want to live a life that is better every day in every way than yesterday, then you're in the right place. Those are the kind of things that I talk about. Those are the kind of things that I study. A little bit of spiritual, a little bit of mental, a lot of physical. Hey, I'm only 68 years young. Yes. And, but I say I'm 68 years of age with years. However, enthusiastic wise, ambition wise, energy wise, 29 years old, everybody. 29. That's the kind of energy I'm always going to bring to you here on the channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I like creating content. It is not new for me. I really started creating content when I was 16 years old. So 52 years ago, I was picking up my dad's Super 8 millimeter camera, and I was making short films at 16 years of age. And I used to use my friends and the neighbors. I'd dress them up in suits and put shotguns in their hands, and I would create scenes. And then I would have to take that film, get it developed, and then I would get it back about a week later, and then I would feed it into the projector. And then I would show it to my mom, dad, family, and my neighbors. And that was all I could share it with. And now, never been a better time to be alive. We can actually turn on the camera like right now, and I can live feed with you anywhere in the world. Halfway around the world, I connect with people. Last week, French Red Wine, are you there? That's one of the channels. France, Germany, of course, Alaska, America, and Russia. Russia chimed in. It's been 2 weeks now. And so you never know. And I like that. So I have to remind myself that I tell you I'm in the state of New York, in the United States of America, everybody live streaming to you. What a better time to be alive that we can actually connect in this way. Of course, no better way to connect with people than face to face, across from the table, one-on-one, from, with a cup of coffee, glass of wine, whatever your desires are. And, but hey, the next best way now, look at what we have available to us. You can go live streaming halfway around the world. Maybe you got a grandma, grandpa. You know what? They're not too mobile and they want to see what you're doing in real time. You can connect with them. And I think that's great. And so, like with all technology, AI and everything else, it's how we use it makes it good or bad. And in this age of AI generated BS that's out there, that's one of the reasons I like to go live. Hey, this is not a green screen. Yeah, I'm actually here on my island in the St. Lawrence River, everybody. Hey, if that connects with you in any way, subscribe to the channel. Always good videos coming out. You'll get notified when the next video comes out. Costs you nothing, and it tells the YouTube people, algorithm-wise, hey, somebody's interacting with the channel. And so, hey, leave a comment in the chat, and I will get back to you. I always respond. My channels are small and tiny enough that it's very easy for me to interact with people that interact with me on a positive note. People that are trolling me or throw some slime every once in a while, I just move along. I don't spend too much time with it. Maybe a half a second at the most. And then I learn to laugh at it, because one of the skills that I've been able to learn is to, get in creation mode, and other people's judgments or opinions of me is none of my business. And you have to be willing, if you're going to put yourself out there in the public, maybe on a platform such as this, such as YouTube, you need to be open to public criticism and attack. Some people are just going to do that. That's the way that shouldn't affect how you're interacting with all the great people in the world. And that's what I'm doing here today, everybody. I thought I'd go live on the island, give you a little perspective, gain some subscribers on the channels, the Island Life channel, and my regular Cliff Yates channel where I host 2 podcasts, everybody, and it's all good stuff. And hey, maybe you want to be a podcast guest, leave me a personal message. Maybe you're into personal growth, self-improvement, and how we can get better today and every day than we were the day before. Constant and never-ending improvement. I can see a neighbor on one of my island neighbors here, and he's out and about. And I'm actually going there for dinner tonight and an adult beverage. That's kind of one of the neat things about being here in the island. There's a lot of, not seclusion, but you get a lot of solitude, peace and quiet if you want by yourself. And then there's a whole community here in this Chippewa Bay, New York community. And my friend over there who's from Cornell University where he worked, he's retired, but he's lives in Ithaca now. And I'll be going there for dinner in about an hour and a half. And so we get to visit our friends on other islands, and then we get to host them on our island, right? Hey, we invite them over for dinner and or drinks. And it's quite a lovely community. It's like you have your summer community, and then we go off in the fall to our corners of the world, and we kind of operate, in our other communities until we return again the next spring or summer. Although this past winter, in January, I visited both of my island neighbors here, and another neighbor. So 3 island neighbors from this community I visited in January. So they were in Bradenton, Florida. And then there was Sarasota, Florida, and Punta Gorda, Florida. And I had never been to Bradenton or Sarasota, so it was good. And then I got to go to Naples, Florida. I'm on the east coast of Florida. I'm located on the Space Coast, if you've heard of that, near Melbourne Beach, Florida, which is about 25 miles south of Cape Canaveral, where all the launches happen, SpaceX and Blue Origin. Is that what it's called? Blue Origin, yeah. And so it's a great place. But you know what? It gets hot in Florida in the summertime. So it's kind of a nice yin and yang. I love kind of escaping when May 15th rolls around, escaping the heat, getting back here to the island paradise. And by the time May 15th comes around, I'm anxious to get here on the island. But you know what? It's like working a farm. There's a lot to do here on the island. Last week, I was knocking down brush. It took me about 30 hours to knock down brush that had overgrown the past couple of years, and I had wanted to get after it last year. I didn't get a chance to do it. And then you got to take care of the boats, and you got to take care of those things. So when you live on a private island in the summertime, it's it's very costly, really. Yearly, you got to pay. I'm in New York, so I have to pay New York school and property taxes, and then you have to store and winterize your boats. And then there's always some maintenance going on here in the island. So minimum probably about $10,000 a year to maintain this property that was bought by my grandmother in the 1940s. And then she passed it down to my mom, who has passed it down to me. My mom's still alive, 90 years young. She'll be here on the island in about 3 weeks. I'll have her on camera. And so that's another reason you got to subscribe, everybody. Join a community of progress. Join a community of paradise. Hey, this is, I'm going to be going around to some great places this summer. I'm going to be doing some filming at a couple different castles, inside and out, with a history lesson on both, and some very stunning views of not just castles, but all sorts of cottages here in the St. Lawrence River on the Thousand Islands, New York. It's quite a magical place, and I'm glad you checked in here. If you haven't already, bang that subscribe button. You're not going to be disappointed. It's always good content. I'm going to guarantee you that. I'll tell you one thing. I'm always going to bring you the energy every single time. Always going to be all in, never half-assing nothing. Nothing. I'm going to be all in. If that resonates with you, then you got to subscribe. You got to leave a comment. You might have to share with a friend of yours. And maybe if you're up here in the area, Thousand Islands, New York, maybe you'll pay me a visit. Swing by the island. Rent a boat. Come on out. We'll have lunch. You're invited. No problem. And we're already connected, so we're already friends. If you have any questions about the island, hey, leave them in the comments. And I answer all the questions. And then I like to make a video about the questions that you ask. You know, people sometimes ask about the water. They ask about electricity on the island here. Or they ask about, the septic system. I got a normal septic system. I got a state-of-the-art septic system. Really, it's anaerobic. It's got 3 chambers. And the last chamber, after it goes through an ultraviolet light, which kills everything, then it gets pumped to the other end of the island, where it goes into a leach field of pea stone, 30 feet long and 10 feet deep. But believe me, before it even goes into that leach field, it's already clear as day. And there's nothing in that water. Quite a magical system. It was very expensive, but had to do it because we had 2 big floods here, 2017. Then we had a big flood again in 2019. You know, I had a septic system that basically was wiped out 2017, repaired, new tank, 2019, new flood, wiped that out. Luckily, New York State had a $10,000 grant program for septic systems. So my septic system cost 30 grand, but I got 10 back. So that was good. But I'm so happy. It's a very efficient system, and it works beautiful. It's about the size that would handle, you know, a duplex, like 4 or 5 families. So no trouble with the septic. Electricity comes underneath the water to the island here, full electric. And I got a water system that cost a couple $1,000, a couple big filters, and then it goes through an ultraviolet system. So water from the river, I get it turned into drinking water. And I've had that for 2 years. So happy I got it, because before that, you have to lug over your drinking water. We got full water, you know, regular toilets, regular sinks and showers. But for drinking water, I used to bring over the drinking water. Now I have it right here. Everything is drinkable. And there is an organization where you can take samples of your water to make sure it's drinkable, and they test it for free. And that's really a good resource to have. But they try to do their best to encourage everybody on these islands to have an up-to-date 2-code septic system. And they inspect it. There's an organization called Save the River, and they come around to the different islands, and they want to know what kind of septic system you have, and they look at it, and they inspect it. Because back in the 70s, not everybody had a septic system. Everybody put their pipe right into the water. I know. Yeah, poop, paper, and everything went right out into the river through a pipe. But I don't know what it was. But, you know, you use poop as fertilizer in the garden, everything grows. Well, let me tell you, we had so many weed beds in this river. The fish were so plentiful. I think it was good for the river life system. But, of course, it wouldn't be good for drinking, of course, and or swimming. But this is a big waterway. This is big water. St. Lawrence River, Thousand Islands, New York. So glad you're here, everybody. If you're just jumping in on the Shorts channel, subscribe, hit that button. Do not be bashful. Fortune favors the bold. We know that. And hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm Cliff Yates. This is my channel. 68 years young. But you know what I do? I have energy of a 29-year-old. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it's because I went through this primal health coaching certification. And so I eat mostly nutrient-dense foods, healthy fats, proteins. I've cut down on the carbohydrates quite a bit. I jump rope and I sprint once a week. And I work out with weights 4 to 5 days a week. And I play tennis 2 to 3 days a week. And so, man, I have the energy. I don't know what's going on with the hormones, but the levels are through the roof. My testosterone is 809, last count in April. And I take no TRT, no supplements for that. I think it's my deadlifting, sprinting, and higher protein that made the difference. According to the doctor, that's what he thinks. All right, everybody, I'm so glad you stopped in to see me here on the island. I'm here on my own private island, Elm Tree Island in the St. Lawrence River, New York. And you can find out exactly where I am. I'm not bashful. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm at Elm Tree Island, Hammond, New York. You can put it in Google Earth and find out exactly where I am. Probably shouldn't tell you. I don't want you to come here and kill me. But I don't think you will. It's pretty work intensive. If you were to get here, you're going to have to probably take trains, planes, and automobiles and a boat to get to me. And I'll probably see you coming, and I'm well armed. I'm Cliff Yates, everybody, retired LA County Sheriff Sergeant. So I am armed here on the island. There's a lot of guns and there's a lot of ammunition here, and I'll see you coming. But I'm glad you're here on the everything on my channels are always self-improvement, personal growth. I'm always going to bring the energy. And I thought I would go live this afternoon, this beautiful Sunday, give you a little view of the island. It's an overcast day here, probably 68, 70 degrees. And Nice, pretty calm day today. Right now, it is actually blowing out of the north, which is why we get cool weather. Canada always throwing cold air at us. But that's all right. Tomorrow, we're going to be back up to 80 degrees, and I'm going to take some beautiful drone shots of the island. I'm going to get off, go to the mainland tomorrow, and I'm going to be going to the gym, playing some tennis, and going to the grocery store. Now, when you live on an island for the summer, you got to remember when you go to the mainland, you want to make sure you get all your provisions and your errands done while you're on the mainland. You can't just jump in your car and go down to the store. I've got to jump in my boat. I got to go to the mainland. Then I got to get in my car, drive 20 minutes to either the gym, tennis, town, grocery store, get all that stuff done. Then I come right back. And now you got to reload into the boat back here, out of the boat into the fridge or cottage, whatever I'm bringing in. But hey, it's a labor of love, everybody. Hey, who's going to complain, man? I don't complain, don't explain. Somebody I follow on YouTube yesterday was saying that. I wrote that down on my dry erasing board. Do not complain, don't explain. And so we should not, as the Bible says, do not grumble about anything. And so, hey, I'm here with a joyful heart. If I could do anything, I would encourage you. I would love to speak encouragement into you, and I'll tell you why. Selfishly, I have discovered over the years, having a positive impact on other people, there is no greater joy. And I would encourage you to try it. Try it with anybody who's near and or around you in your life. Start with family, friends, neighbors, coworkers. Throw them an encouraging word. Out of nowhere, give them a compliment. A lot of times, I discovered last week learning, and I found it true for myself. We don't give compliments sometimes because we think, well, that'll be awkward, and they don't really care. Guess what? It's not awkward, and people do care. Give people compliments. Double your compliments this next week. I'm going to do it. If I can give 5 a day, I'm going to do it. And it's kind of hard when I'm at the island because that means I got to make sure when I get off the island, I go to the store, hey, that I'm speaking encouragement to people that I run across in the store and or the gym or playing tennis. So if I'm going to the store, going to the gym and playing tennis, then I can definitely get good 10 to 12 compliments in with people. But hey, if I'm not going to the mainland, it's kind of tough because I'm in solitude here on the island where I'm able to record and publish my podcast right here from the island. Another question people ask, do you have Wi-Fi or TV? I got full strength Wi-Fi that I get from a nearby castle. Now, I made a deal with the company. I agreed to let them put a transmitter in the crook of my cottage. So I transmit Wi-Fi here in the bay. And so for that, I get a good deal on my Wi-Fi. And so I keep full Wi-Fi all year round so I can have cameras here in the winter. And I'm able to upload my videos and publish them to the channels. And, that takes a little bit of upload speed. Some of my videos are 45 minutes to an hour long when I'm doing a podcast episode and doing my drone shots. And so I need the power. And they give it to me. And if they don't ever give it to me, I'm going to Starlink because that'll be the next. When I'm out here on the island in the middle of nowhere, can you imagine the connection that I get at night? The stars are unbelievable. I've got to get a camera so that I can take some good pictures of the stars at night because it's heartwarming to be out here on a summer night to see the meteors, and to see the satellites going by and the stars. And the sky is pretty busy out here. When you get to see the sky and everything that's going on up there, it's pretty busy. Kind of an amazing gift that you get here by being on the island. So I'm glad you stopped in here, everybody. Good to connect with you on this Sunday. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'm running 2 channels here right from my own private island, everybody. I got the Island Life, which is really dedicated to boating, fishing, island life in this area. And living the island life. And even in Florida, I'm on an island. I'm on a barrier island. So the island life is, for me, is 12 months out of the year. But here in the Thousand Islands, New York, I'm only here 5 months at the most. And so glad I connected with you today, and I love going live in the vertical mode because it shows up in the shorts feed, and that means I connect with more people who are jumping in and out who aren't already subscribed, and it helps me grow the channel. And both of my channels are growing. You can help me today and be the next person. Hit the subscribe button, and we're growing slowly, but that's all right. I'd rather have quality people like yourself than quantity who maybe aren't going to be the quality people that I want to connect with, like yourself. So glad you're here, everybody. Thanks for connecting with me. I'm Cliff Yates. Everybody retire. There's the swallows. They're eating up the bugs, everybody. That's the one thing that are good about the swallows is they scoop up a lot of bugs. Oh, they're having a ball. They are having a ball here, these swallows. So I got I got 4 or 5 swallows that are zooming around me right now. You connect a lot with nature here on the island. We have a lot of swallows. Sometimes they zoom right at you. A couple seagulls around. We have geese, Canadian geese. Loons they're wailing up a storm at night. You hear them laughing up a storm. And all sorts of animals. The only animals I really don't like, once in a while, we'll get island hopping mink. And the mink stink. I didn't forgot that rhymed. The mink stink. Their skin stinks. They're covered with this oil so that they can go in and out of the water, keeps them warm. And then they jump and they grab a bunch of fish and they go under your docks and they leave fish heads around, and then that stinks. So try to discourage the minks if I see them. But sometimes they're hard to discourage. But that's what happens when you live here on the island. Another thing on the island here that freaks people out, and it doesn't freak me out anymore. There's none yet, but eventually there'll be a bunch of dock spiders out here. And I do spray twice a year. I have a company comes out and they spray for bugs. But these dock spiders, I mean, with their legs, they're like that. They look like tarantulas. Now, I've been coming here on the island for over 55 years, and I've never been bitten by a dock spider. They pretty much try to stay away from you, even though you can't help. Sometimes you're on top of them, you're grabbing lines and you're grabbing things around the dock. I've had them on me a couple times on my arms, and I've just flicked them off, which is kind of freaky. So I try to pay attention when the dock spiders are in full swing. But those are the kind of critters you have to deal with here on the island, everybody. And then later on, so far, nothing yet as far as bees. Around the island here, we start to get those mud dauber wasps. I don't like wasps at all. I hate wasps. And the people that come and spray, it keeps them away. And they're not aggressive. But the people last year, they came out and sprayed for the mud dauber wasps, and they had wasps all around their faces, and they're spraying. And I'm going, don't you guys ever get stung? And they go, no, not very often. They're not very aggressive unless you really, really agitate them. And I'm thinking, wow. So I just don't like them. Honeybees, they don't bother me as much. You don't see them that often around here. Just usually wasps. And bumblebees, they kind of stay away. They're into the flowers here on the island. But those are the kind of things in the island life, everybody. So glad you stopped by. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You're not going to be disappointed. I'm always going to be bringing the energy with you. As you can tell, sometimes I talk a little too fast. I get a little too excited. But that's all right. As much as I try to slow down my cadence of speech, I'm not going to do it to the extent where I'm not my natural self. So take it or leave it. If I resonate with you in any way, subscribe to the channel. I am not a faceless channel. You know what? I'll be making great videos. I have a couple podcasts that I produce, and it's all about philosophies of life and how we can do better and be better every day in every way than we were yesterday. And if that resonates with you, because I know you know about yourself, as Les Robbins says, you have greatness within you. I follow all the Robbins people. Mel Robbins, Les Robbins, Tony Robbins. I don't know if there's any other Robbinses out there in the field of personal growth, self-improvement, but if there are, I'll find them, because those are the kind of things I like to look for. Why? Because 35 years ago, I was in a negative place, and guess what? I changed. And when I changed, things began to change for me. Personal life, business, job, career, money, relationships, everything started to get greater and greater. Not because anything outside of me, all inside. The things that I changed, starting with my thinking and how I communicated with other people, and the relationships that I developed with other people, and the attitude of gratitude that I was expressing on a daily basis, connecting with people with an attitude of service, not for what they could do for me, what I could do for them. And when you have that attitude, when you put that out in the world, I'm telling you, that's what comes back at you. When you go at the world with, how can I serve you? All of a sudden, the world comes at you with, how can I serve you? And it's pretty amazing the way that works out. And so what happens is you get addicted to having a positive impact on other people. And if you haven't already been doing that, give it a try. You know what it costs? Nothing. And you know what? It's fun and it's fulfilling, satisfying. And I think you're going to get addicted to it. All right, everybody. I am so glad you guys stopped in. Hey, listen, pretty soon I got to get ready for dinner. I'm going over to a neighbor's island for dinner. He's cooking me up a great dinner tonight. We're probably going to have an adult beverage or two, no more. I'm pretty much pretty disciplined in not ever having more than two cocktails when I have them. I don't need them. I don't always have them. But when I do, 1 to 2 seems to do the trick, but sometimes I do like to relax with a cocktail at night. And I will be, hey, I'm about ready to try something different. As a health and fitness guy, a lot of wines, they have a good amount of sugar in them, just naturally. But they have these dry farm wines, and they're pretty much, they're not irrigated. I don't know, but they have little to zero sugar in them. I mean, you have to have them shipped to you. They're kind of expensive, but dry farm wines. Let me know in the comments if you heard of dry farm wines. I'm going to give that a try this summer and see what that's like. Seems like a pretty healthy alternative to regular wines. And I heard that yesterday on a podcast that was being broadcast on YouTube. And I would call him my mentor, even though he doesn't know it, Mr. Mark Sisson, who was the creator of Palooza shoes, right? 5-toe shoes. And he's also the the founder of the Primal Health Coach Institute, from which I am a graduate. And so I'm going to be doing more health coaching starting this year. And July, I'm going to take on more clients. I'm going to be producing some online courses from the stuff I learned, because I'm telling you, it worked for me. Do you think I have the energy? I do. 68, I'm ready to roll right now, more than I was at age 50. And I look at some of my compatriots that are 68 years or maybe even 65, 60, and they're shuffling around with little to no energy. Get out of my way. I don't have time. Get out of my way, or I'll pull you up. I'll carry you with me if you want to go. I got the energy and I got the strength. I'm telling you, 2 things that we can't stop: getting older, aging. But that doesn't mean frailty and weakness. You never have to get frail and you never have to get weak. You can live until you die strong and healthy. Nowadays you go along and around 60, 65, and there's a steep dip. People's health and strength doesn't have to be. If you follow the right program, you might have a slight decline as you get older, and then you die. You can live until you die, everybody. That's the secret. And who wouldn't want to do that? I just can't believe the amount of obesity and fat people that I see in the world. Some of it's not their fault. A lot of the cigarette companies invested in food companies that are dedicated and have scientists that are making up food that aren't really food at all, but they get you addicted to wanting to eat more and more. And we have to start eating real foods. When you start eating real foods, nutrient-dense foods, you can actually eat a lot. And you can keep yourself from being diabetic, obese. You can enjoy so many delicious meals with nutrient-dense foods. I have an approved eating list from Mark Sisson's coaching program. I mean, just stop eating the sugars and the chemically altered oils. Use extra virgin olive oil, use coconut oil, avocado oil. Eat healthy fats, avocados. It's easy to do. It really is. It's simple. And you know what? You're going to have so damn much energy. People are going to ask you, hey, what are you taking? What the hell are you taking? I'm not taking anything. But I'll tell you what, I'm always going to bring the energy for you. So subscribe to the channel, join Community of Progress, join the Island Life. Hey, this summer, we're going to be visiting a lot of great, and when I say we, I mean you and me together. So, hey, everybody, I believe in being raw and real. That's why I'm here live. No notes, no teleprompter. I'm speaking from the heart. This is no green screen, everybody. This is no BS green screen. This is the real deal. And in today's world, I know I am, and I know you are looking for the real deals. You know what? We don't want fake. We want real. And that's the deal. All right, everybody, I'm so glad you're here. As you can see, I can ramble on for about 5 hours. Hey, but I want to check in with you today. Gather a few subscribers. I want you to be the next one. If you haven't already, bang that button. Subscribe to the channel, everybody. You got to join this community of progress. Life on or in, around the water. There's no greater life. You can have it if that's what you want. Yeah, the greatest thing about America, still today, still available to you, you can live the life you want. Start making the choices on purpose. You have the choice how you live going forward, starting today. I don't care what happened yesterday. Take the lessons from yesterday, take the wisdom that you can bring from yesterday, and then it's gone. You can't live back there anymore. You're here now, this moment. If you're listening to me, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel. I'm always bringing the energy. It's always 100%. It's always all in. And when you start living all in one area of your life, you're going to start living all in another area. As you start getting greater, developing relationships at home with family and friends, you're going to get better at developing relationships at work with coworkers and neighbors. It's going to cascade. It's going to give you momentum that you won't be able to stop. Once that ball of positivity and success starts rolling, you cannot stop it. Once something is motion, it tends to stay in motion in a positive way. Hey, there's always polarity in everything in life. If something is very bad, that means something is very good. There's an opposite side of the coin. Which one do you want to live on? Hey, you want to be magnetic? You're going to be a negative side of that magnet or a positive side. There's two sides of magnetism. You know it. You know, if you're on the positive side and a negative side comes into a room, comes around you, you're repelled by it. You're repelled by the negative. You're in a positive vibration, you're going to be repelled by the negative. You will feel it. You will sense it. We're not only transmitters, we're receivers. You know damn well. You understand what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, I got to get ready. I got to get ready to go to my neighbor, have some dinner and a cocktail. And you know what? I'm going to give a toast to you for being a new subscriber. All right, everybody. See you in the next video.